There comes a time in the life of every man and woman when they must confront the truth that their greatest enemy has never been poverty, nor circumstance, nor even the schemes of others, but their own undisciplined mind. The masses spend their days enslaved to impulses, shackled by emotions, carried away by fears, distracted by desires. They mistake this slavery for freedom because the chains they wear are invisible. But I tell you this, until you have mastered the art of detachment, until you have forged the weapon of discipline, until you have claimed sovereignty over your thoughts, you will remain a servant in the empire of life. Yet for the one who awakens, for the one who seizes his inner world with both hands and bends it to his command, destiny itself bends in return. For nothing in life is stronger than the man who is master of himself. You will know this mastery when no insult can provoke you, no desire can tempt you from your path, no fear can halt your advance. You will know it when silence becomes your fortress, when clarity becomes your sword, when discipline becomes your crown. And in that hour, you will not merely be successful, you will become dangerously smart. Dangerously smart, because your intelligence will no longer be at the mercy of emotion. Dangerously smart, because your focus will no longer be scattered by noise. Dangerously smart, because you will see through the illusions that enslave the masses. You will see the game as it is, not as others pretend it to be. And the man who sees clearly cannot be controlled. The woman who governs herself cannot be conquered. They rise above the clamor of the crowd and walk paths the world dares not tread. Let us begin then with the first law. If you allow emotions to govern your actions, you forfeit your power. But if you command your thoughts, you command your future. Most men rise in the morning already defeated. They open their eyes and surrender their peace to worry, their attention to distraction, their will to comfort. They are carried into the day like leaves upon a current, powerless, directionless, reactive. But the man who rules himself rises in command. He fixes his mind upon a definite purpose, disciplines his body to obey the will, and steels his emotions to serve him, never to rule him. Understand this clearly. Your emotions are not your master, they are your servants. Anger is energy, but only if you control it. Fear is caution, but only if you direct it. Desire is fuel, but only if you govern it. Left undisciplined, these forces enslave you. Disciplined, they become your greatest allies. The difference is detachment, the power to pause, to observe, to choose. Reaction is slavery. Response is power. He who reacts without thought is owned by the world. He who responds with discipline owns himself, and through himself, the world. This mastery of emotion is not an option. It is law. History reveals it without exception. Great generals have lost battles not because of strategy, but because of rage. Great kings have lost empires not because of enemies, but because of desire. Great thinkers have wasted lives not because of ignorance, but because of fear. But those who mastered themselves, those who ruled their emotions with reason, bent the world to their will. The second law follows. Your mind is a workshop, and discipline is its order. Without discipline, thought is chaos. With discipline, thought is creation. Every fortune, every invention, every empire began first as a thought, but thoughts left undirected produce nothing. They wander into worry, into fantasy, into doubt. But thoughts directed by discipline produce empires. They concentrate like a burning glass, igniting reality. Each morning, therefore, is sacred, for the thoughts you plant in the first hour are the seeds that govern the day. Plant distraction, and you reap confusion. Plant fear, and you reap hesitation. Plant purpose, and you reap achievement. This is not poetry. It is cause and effect. The subconscious obeys what you impress upon it. If you feed it weakness, weakness it will build. If you feed it power, power it will build. And you feed it each morning with your words, your images, your affirmations, your disciplines. Thus I tell you, speak to your mind as a commander speaks to his army. Say, I am calm. I am focused. I am disciplined. My purpose is clear. My will is strong. Say it until your subconscious accepts it as law, until your very instincts bend to it. For once belief is fixed, action follows, and once action follows, destiny is inevitable. But discipline is not only thought, it is also body. For the body is the servant of the mind, and if the servant is weak, the master is hindered. Each morning, therefore, discipline the body as you discipline the mind. Rise early when the weak are still sleeping. Move with vigor when the lazy still linger. Breathe deeply when the distracted suffocate in noise. Every act of physical mastery declares, I rule here. Comfort does not command me, I command myself. And each act strengthens not only the body but the will. Then comes silence. Know this, noise is the enemy of power. The world shouts for your attention, but the wise man commands silence. For silence is not emptiness, it is fullness. In silence, you hear the whisper of intuition. In silence, you gather strength. In silence, you center upon your purpose. Without silence, thought becomes reaction. With silence, thought becomes creation. Make silence your fortress each morning, and no noise shall shake you. And finally, initiative. Without action, all else is wasted. Thought unacted upon is fantasy. Purpose unpursued is illusion. Discipline without deeds is emptiness. Therefore, begin. Begin each day with a decisive act that affirms your sovereignty. Do not wait for conditions. Do not hesitate for approval. Do not delay for certainty. Begin. For the man who begins carries momentum, and momentum carries him beyond what hesitation could ever achieve. Now the truth stands before you like a mirror. If you govern yourself, nothing can conquer you. If you fail to govern yourself, nothing can save you. You are either sovereign of your mind or servant of your impulses. You are either ruler of your day or victim of it. And the line is drawn each morning. In the first thoughts you think, the first disciplines you keep, the first actions you take. So I say to you, rise with purpose, rise with discipline, rise with silence, rise with action. Rise not as a servant of weakness, but as a master of self. For when you master yourself, you will become dangerously smart. You will see what others cannot see. You will do what others cannot do. You will achieve what others dare not attempt. And the world, unable to understand the power of a disciplined mind, will call you fortunate, will call you gifted, will call you chosen. But you will know the truth. You were not chosen, you chose. You chose to master yourself. You chose to govern your mind. You chose to build discipline. You chose to become sovereign of your soul. And in that choice, you became unstoppable. If you wish to rise above the mass of men, then you must understand the first great error that keeps them chained. They mistake their emotions for truth. They believe that because they feel something, it must be real, it must be obeyed, it must be acted upon. This is the error that ruins lives, shatters dreams, and condemns men to mediocrity. For the world does not bend to your feelings, it bends to your discipline. The man who cries, I don't feel like it, is already defeated. The man who says, I will do it because it must be done, commands victory, no matter how he feels. Feelings are weather. They come and go. They shift with circumstance. They rise with pleasure and collapse with pain. But truth, purpose, and discipline are mountains. They do not move for storms. They do not bow to rain. They stand. And so must you stand. For if you live by feeling, you live as a leaf carried on the wind. But if you live by discipline, you live as a rock upon which even the waves break. Understand this principle. Detachment is not indifference. Detachment is mastery. To detach from emotion does not mean you feel nothing. It means you feel everything but choose what governs you. Anger may burn in your chest, but you decide whether it fuels your work or destroys your peace. Fear may whisper in your ear, but you decide whether it sharpens your caution or paralyzes your will. Desire may surge within you, but you decide whether it builds your empire or ruins your character. Detachment is the ability to step outside your own mind, to observe your impulses like a general surveys the battlefield, and to decide with clarity, not confusion. Let me give you the law in cause and effect. If you allow emotion to dictate, your actions will contradict your purpose. But if you detach and govern emotion, your actions will align with destiny. This is not philosophy only, it is mechanics. The reactive man spends his days apologizing for what he said in anger, repairing what he broke in fear, chasing what he lost in desire. The detached man spends his days building, commanding, advancing. One life is spent in correction, the other life is spent in creation. And what of the mind? Know this truth. Your mind is the greatest weapon ever placed in your hands and also the most dangerous if left undisciplined. It will build empires for you if you command it. It will build prisons for you if you neglect it. The difference lies in whether you choose to govern it each morning or leave it to wander. The undisciplined mind is like an untrained beast, powerful but wild. It lunges after distraction. It cowers before fear. It runs toward comfort. But the disciplined mind is like a trained warhorse, strong, steady, unstoppable under command. It carries you into battle, not away from it. It obeys, it executes, it delivers. This is why the first hour of your day is sacred. It is the hour in which you seize the reins of your mind or surrender them. The masses begin their mornings in servitude. They reach for their devices. They let the noise of the world program their thoughts. They scatter their focus before they have claimed it. But the sovereign man begins with mastery. He sets his purpose, disciplines his body, centers his mind in silence, and directs his thoughts with precision. He does not react to the world. He commands himself first, and then he commands the world. Autosuggestion is the lever of this mastery. Each morning, speak to your mind the words that shape your destiny. Say, I am calm, I am unshakable, I am focused, I am disciplined. My purpose governs my life. Nothing outside me controls me. Speak it until your subconscious accepts it. For the subconscious mind does not argue. It does not reject. It obeys. Feed it fear, and it will build fear into your life. Feed it discipline, and it will build discipline into your life. Feed it victory, and victory will follow you like a shadow. Now hear this law. Your outer world is nothing more than the reflection of your inner world. If your inner world is chaos, your outer world will be confusion. If your inner world is discipline, your outer world will be order. If your inner world is governed, your outer world will be conquered. This is cause and effect. As certain as the rising of the sun, change yourself, and the world around you changes. Fail to change yourself, and the world will master you. Do not deceive yourself into thinking that greatness comes from chance, or from luck, or from the favor of others. Greatness comes from mastery of self. It is the only source. A man may inherit money, but without discipline he will squander it. A man may receive opportunity, but without detachment he will sabotage it. A man may enjoy talent, but without mental mastery he will waste it. Wealth, opportunity, and talent without self-mastery are like water poured into a broken vessel. They leak away, leaving nothing. But the man who governs himself can turn even the smallest opportunity into empire. So I tell you, stop seeking more from the world until you have demanded more from yourself. Do not pray for lighter burdens. Strengthen your shoulders. Do not ask for easier tasks. Discipline your mind. Do not wait for perfect conditions. Command yourself to act. For the world belongs not to those who wish, but to those who will. Each morning, stand before yourself and declare war upon weakness. Say, I will not be ruled by comfort. I will not be governed by fear. I will not be moved by anger. I will not be deceived by desire. I am sovereign of myself. I am master of my mind. I am ruler of my emotions. I am commander of my destiny. Say it and then live it. For words without deeds are air, but words with deeds are fire. And as you live this truth, you will feel a transformation. The noise that once disturbed you will seem small. The fears that once stopped you will seem laughable. The desires that once tempted you will seem weak. You will stand above yourself as if upon a mountain, looking down upon the man you once were, reactive, fragile, distracted, and you will not recognize him. For you will have become something greater, something stronger, something unshakable, and the world will sense it. They will see in your eyes the calm of a man not owned by circumstance. They will hear in your voice the authority of one who commands himself. They will feel in your presence the weight of a soul that cannot be moved. And they will call you fortunate, they will call you gifted, they will call you chosen. But you will know the truth. You were not chosen, you chose. You chose discipline. You chose detachment. You chose mastery. You chose to rule yourself when others surrendered. And in that choice, you became dangerously smart, a man or woman who cannot be deceived, who cannot be swayed, who cannot be broken. You are here because you sensed a fracture between what you feel and what you know you must become. Because you have glimpsed the quiet throne of power that exists not in the outer world but in the inner sanctuary where thoughts are chosen, emotions are governed, and the will is forged like iron under heat. The masses live as if life were happening to them. The few live as if life were answering to them. The difference is not fortune or favor. The difference is the decision to master the inner empire. If you will take possession of yourself, you will take possession of your future. If you will conquer your mind, you will conquer your destiny. All else is ornament, all else is noise, all else yields before the sovereign who knows how to think, how to choose, how to act. Begin with this iron law. The cause of your life is internal. The effect of your life is external. If your mind is ruled by reactivity, your life will be ruled by circumstance. If your mind is ruled by purpose, your life will be shaped by design. To the undisciplined, emotions shout orders and reason obeys. To the disciplined, reason holds the scepter and emotions take their rightful place as loyal messengers. You must reverse the arrangement that keeps most of humanity in bondage. When reason is enthroned and emotion is yoked to purpose, your days acquire the symmetry of a well-governed kingdom. When emotion usurps reason, you become like a realm in revolt, busy, loud, and powerless. You will become dangerously smart the moment you stop worshiping feeling and begin honoring truth. Feelings are weather, truth is climate. Feelings move, truth stands. Feelings beg to be obeyed. Truth asks only to be recognized and used. Every reaction that springs from wounded pride or anxious imagination is a tax upon your power. Every response that springs from deliberate thought is compounded interest upon your destiny. The average man pays tax all day long. The uncommon man accrues interest from dawn until rest. This is not poetry. It is arithmetic of the soul. Establish definiteness of purpose, not as a phrase, but as an oath. A definite purpose is a command you give yourself that admits no rival commands. It is the blueprint you hold even when the dust of construction blinds the eyes. It is the decision that has already been made when temptations try to renegotiate your course. Without definiteness of purpose, you are an instrument picking up every broadcast in the air. With definiteness of purpose, you are a tuned frequency that receives only what advances your mission. If you do not choose your chief aim, trivial aims will choose you. If you do not fix your mind upon a star, you will drift between lanterns. Choose, declare, and bind yourself to that choice with the chain of daily deeds. Now, detach. Detachment is not the emptiness of a cold heart, it is the fullness of a disciplined heart. Detachment is the sovereign's habit of hearing all advisors and obeying none but truth. Anger brings its report. You read it without fury. Fear delivers its memorandum. You consider it without panic. Desire presents its petition. You examine it without lust. Detachment is the power to pause at the gates of impulse and let reason conduct the inspection. Reaction says, I am my feeling. Detachment says, I have this feeling and I decide. If you allow emotions to govern your actions, you forfeit your power. But if you command your thoughts, you command your future. There is a law I will call the law of mental neutrality. Maintain an unshaken baseline of calm, from which you may deliberately ascend to intensity when you choose. A calm baseline is not passivity, it is stored voltage. A calm baseline is not indifference, it is readiness. The warrior who always swings wildly is easily defeated. The warrior who stands neutral until he must strike wins. Keep your mind in neutral until you decide the gear. Let no insult, no delay, no rumor throw you into motion without your consent. The moment you become triggerless, you become timeless. The man who cannot be hurried cannot be harried. The woman who cannot be baited cannot be beaten. Discipline of thought is the golden lever of mastery. Most people think, but they merely rearrange their anxieties. They confuse mental movement for mental work. The disciplined thinker selects a problem like a craftsman selects a piece of wood, sets it upon the bench of attention, and applies the tools of reason until it yields. Attention is the bench, logic is the plane, imagination is the chisel, persistence is the mallet. If you do not build a place for thought, thought will be evicted by noise. If you do not schedule thought, thought will be overrun by trivia. The mind is the most obedient servant when addressed with clarity and the most dangerous rebel when neglected. Autosuggestion is command language to the subconscious. The subconscious does not argue, it executes. If you feed it uncertainty, it will manufacture hesitation. If you feed it order, it will manufacture order. If you feed it victory, it will manufacture opportunities for victory. Speak to it in specifics. I am calm under pressure. I choose my response. I act on plan, not on mood. I move one necessary step every morning toward my chief aim. Repeat with attention until repetition becomes belief and belief becomes reflex. Words without attention are noise. Words with attention are instructions. The subconscious is a faithful clerk. It files what you deliver and pulls the file you ask for under stress. Train your clerk in peacetime so it serves you in war. Accurate thinking is the spine of strategy. Emotion shouts, facts whisper. Train your intellect to separate report from rumor, evidence from echo. Ask, what is known? What is inferred? What is the cost? What is the alternative? What is the time horizon? Who benefits if I believe this? Who benefits if I delay? The undisciplined mind asks, how do I feel about this? The disciplined mind asks, what is true, what matters, and what follows? You will save years by learning to ignore what does not change your decision. Most of what the world offers as urgent is irrelevant to your purpose. Learn to discard without guilt. The king does not attend every noise in the courtyard. Master your environment because it is the silent collaborator of your character. The chair you sit in, the light by which you think, the tools within reach, the books within arm's length, these are not decorations. They are destiny. Disorder taxes cognition, order releases it. Clutter is unmade decision. Simplicity is decided intention. You need not own much. You must arrange what you own to honor your purpose. If your desk announces confusion, your day will obey. If your room reports readiness, your mind will believe it. The external world is a mirror you have placed before your own subconscious. Arrange it to reflect who you are becoming. Understand the difference between response and reaction, and build rituals that protect you from yourself. A ritual is a decision made once and honored many times. Place buffers between stimulus and action. A breath, a count, a phrase. Pause, observe, decide. Let this be carved into your behavior. Train yourself to meet heat with coolness and coolness with clarity. That small interval where you refuse to be rushed is the seed of all empire. A man who cannot be forced to hurry cannot be forced to yield. Your pace is a declaration of sovereignty. Schedule solitude as one schedules counsel with a trusted advisor. Silence is not an absence, it is a presence. It is the only medium in which intuition can speak above the clamor of habit. Sit daily, spine tall, breath quiet, attention steady. Do not perform for comfort, sit for command. Observe the parade of impressions, and deny them office unless appointed by purpose. 5 minutes of true silence replenishes fountains that an hour of talk can never fill. Without silence, your mind is an exposed city. With silence, it is a walled capital. The body is the mind's instrument, and your will is revealed in how you treat it. Sleep with discipline. Rise with discipline. Move with discipline. Ignore fashion. Pursue function. The body trained to obey simple commands, up at the hour, still at the hour, move at the hour, becomes a willing ally when the hour requires uncommon exertion. Fatigue is honest. Do not negotiate with it. Train it. Comfort is persuasive. Do not argue with it. Outvote it. The body that learns you are serious will cease protesting and begin cooperating. The world will call your energy mysterious. It is not mystery, it is management. Persist with intelligence. Persistence without adjustment is stubbornness. Adjustment without persistence is drift. Hold the end fixed and vary the means. If the door will not open, test the hinges, the handle, the wall around it. Play long games and short moves. Each day demands a step that cannot be skipped. The mountain yields to steps, not to leaps. The impatient demand spectacle. The disciplined accept sequence. You will not starve of slow progress. You will starve of no progress. The habit of one non-negotiable advance per day is immortality for a purpose. Guard your associations. People are not neutral. They are vectors. They either accelerate or decelerate your becoming. The mind borrows postures from those nearby. Sit with the agitated and you will fidget. Sit with the composed and you will breathe. Sit with the cynical and you will doubt. Sit with the purposeful and you will decide. There is no arrogance in choosing company, there is only responsibility. You are the steward of a mission. You must curate the atmosphere in which it breathes. Convert ideals into mechanisms. A mechanism is a repeatable, testable sequence that produces a desired result. Morning silence is a mechanism. Written aims are a mechanism. Time-boxed work is a mechanism. Review and correction are mechanisms. When life turns violent, mechanisms hold. When mood deserts you, mechanisms remain. Build mechanisms so that excellence is performed by default and failure requires sabotage. The truly free are those who have bound themselves to the right mechanisms. Hold this principle like a torch. Thought first, emotion second, action third. Thought chooses the target, emotion provides the fuel, action moves the load. Reverse the order, and you burn fuel without direction. Skip a stage, and you move without power. In crisis, rehearse the sequence. Think, feel deliberately, act decisively. In opportunity, rehearse the sequence. Think, stir conviction, begin. Train it until even surprise obeys your plan. When you encounter setback, conduct an audit, not a funeral. Ask, where did I depart from plan? Which assumption failed? What signal did I ignore? What mechanism broke? How do I prevent this exact failure again? Pain is tuition. You decide whether you earn the degree. Most repeat their pain because they prefer lament to lesson. You will become dangerously smart when every wound becomes a law you never again violate. Remove the need for approval, for it is the slowest poison. Approval addicts cannot hold a line. They bend wherever the crowd sways. The need to be liked is the seed of betrayal, first of principle, then of potential. Do not be rude, be rooted. Do not be harsh. Be hardened to flattery and insult alike. When praise and blame weigh the same nearly nothing, you will at last be free to do the necessary thing. Practice the economy of words in your own mind. Long internal speeches often conceal short decisions avoided. Give your thought a budget. What is the decision? What is the next step? When will it be taken? Reduce soliloquy. Increase sentence. Do it at 9. The inner parliament must adjourn with a vote, not applause. Talk less to yourself, instruct yourself more, command, comply, continue. Build a ledger of your days. The disciplined keep accounts. Record the morning oath, the single decisive act, the interval of silence, the session of concentrated work, the correction made, the lesson captured. The one who measures grows. The one who guesses drifts. Do not decorate the ledger. Populate it. Numbers free you from self-deception. If you see the proof of your discipline, you will trust your future. If you see the gaps, you will repair them. Keep your promises to yourself as if you were signing treaties for a nation, because you are. Every broken promise weakens borders. Every kept promise strengthens allegiance. When you set an hour for action and you act, you announce to your subconscious that you are reliable. Reliability breeds obedience. Obedience breeds power. The undisciplined cannot rely upon themselves, and so they must outsource their destiny to the schedules of others. The disciplined are a nation unto themselves. Regard time as a moral element. It is not merely a measure, it is a material. You build with it, you waste it, you invest it, you steal it back from thieves. Ask of every hour, what does this hour fund? If it funds habit, keep it. If it funds distraction, starve it. If it funds recovery, honor it. If it funds fear, bankrupt it. Time is the treasury of destiny. Careless treasurers are overthrown. Learn to be unoffendable. Offense is the surest trap of the small. The aim of offense is to install a program not of your choosing. When you cannot be offended, you cannot be controlled. This is not apathy, it is autonomy. You will speak with force when speech serves strategy, not to satisfy the itch of pride. You will correct when correction is fruitful, not to win the applause of those who are not building. When offense loses its grip on you, your hands are free to work. Transmute anxiety into architecture. Anxiety is the mind's signal that uncertainty exceeds structure. Build structure. Convert vague fears into checklists, calendars, and contingencies. Map the unknown into known steps. Much of dread is unscoped work. Once scoped, it shrinks. Where you cannot plan, you can still prepare the instrument that will face the unknown yourself. The prepared soul walks into fog with quiet eyes. Maintain reverence for reality. You do not win by inventing a world that flatters you. You win by seeing this world and leveraging it. There is a humility in accurate thinking that becomes a ferocity in execution. Admit constraints, maximize levers. Admit ignorance, acquire knowledge. Admit fatigue, rest by design. The proud fight laws, the disciplined use them. Gravity is not your enemy. It is your engineer when you design the ramp correctly. Develop the habit of immediate rectification. When you notice a slip, correct it at once. Do not wait until evening. Do not negotiate with delay. If you break a promise to yourself at 9, restore it at 9:01. This speed of repair is a signal you cannot be kept from the line. The longer a deviation runs, the more permission it grants future weakness. Cut it while it is thin. Pride prolongs error. Humility performs surgery. Carry a private sentence that summons your higher self. Hold the line. Thought first. Calm is power. Initiate now. Craft your sentence and use it as you would draw a blade when ambushed. The mind needs anchors. Give it a phrase that snaps it upright. In a moment of surge, words are handles for the will. When you must choose between two goods, choose the one that strengthens identity over the one that flatters image. Image is rented, identity is owned. Choose the task that makes you harder to discourage, easier to rely upon, quicker to decide. The world pays handsomely for solidity. Be the one who can be counted on at 5 in the morning when others are counting excuses. Let your ambition be disciplined by contribution. Power without service calcifies into vanity. Service without power dissolves into exhaustion. Unite them. Build capacity so you can build others. The mind that knows its mission to advance the good it believes in is a mind less tempted by petty vanity. When you act from service, criticism loses poison. When you act from power, service gains reach. This integration keeps your fire clean. Finally, accept the burden of command over yourself as a joy. Weak souls dread duty, strong souls rejoice in it. Duty is not a chain, it is a channel. It gives your power a direction and your days a form. There is a music to a governed life that the chaotic will never hear: a quiet drum that says rise, a steady horn that says move, a soft bell that says rest. March to it without apology. In that cadence, you will outlast the sprinters and outbuild the dreamers. Hear me now with the seriousness of one who knows what it costs to waste a life. The world is not waiting to hand you crowns. It is waiting to see whether you can wear them. The test is not written on paper. It is written in the first hour of your morning, in the breath you take before you speak, in the thought you choose before you act, in the restraint you exercise when pride begs for spectacle, in the initiative you take when fear begs for delay. Pass those examinations and you will become dangerously smart, calm in storms, clear in fog, precise under pressure, relentless without noise. You will walk into rooms and change the temperature without raising your voice. You will take blows and grow stronger where others grow bitter. You will be trusted when panic spreads, because you do not spread panic. You will execute when others explain. You will rise when others rest. And the world, unable to locate the source of your steadiness, will call it luck or talent or fate. But you will know it by its proper name: discipline married to purpose, detachment yoked to truth, thought commanding action. So stand now and make your oath. This is the hour, this is the line, this is the throne. Say within yourself with a clarity that echoes, I will hold my mind, I will harness my emotion, I will arrange my environment, I will honor my mechanisms, I will speak law to my subconscious, I will move one necessary step each day toward my chief aim. I will replace reaction with response, noise with silence, apology with adjustment, delay with initiative. I will be loyal to the future I have chosen. And then, with the gravity of a sovereign and the simplicity of a soldier, act. Not tomorrow, not later, not when it is convenient. Now, one step that cannot be undone. One decision that seals the others. One motion that the old self would not make. You do not need permission to begin. Beginning is the permission. The gate is not locked. It is merely heavy. Push. When you do, When you push each morning, you will feel the hinge surrender and the door swing. Beyond it is the country you intended to inhabit all along, a realm where your mind is your ally, your emotions, your instruments, your will, your silent king. Walk there without drama, build there without noise, reign there without boast. And if ever you doubt, stand in stillness and remember, if you allow emotions to govern your actions, you forfeit your power. But if you command your thoughts, you command your future. Go, therefore, and live as one who has chosen to be feared by his weaknesses and loved by his destiny. Go, and let the sight of your discipline be the most persuasive argument for what is possible. Go, and become so quietly formidable that the world must rewrite its assumptions in your presence. You were not born to be managed by moods. You were born to master them. You were not born to be piloted by crowds. You were born to chart the course. And you will. Because you have taken the throne, none can seize from you the throne within. There is a secret you must grasp if you are to become dangerously smart. The world is governed not by those who shout the loudest, but by those who think the clearest. Clarity is a weapon, sharper than any blade, and clarity is purchased through discipline. The masses live in haze. They think in slogans. They feel in waves. They drown in the undertow of their own confusion. But the disciplined man, the disciplined woman, lives in light. They see cause and effect when others see only chance. They see patterns when others see noise. They see pathways when others see walls. To become dangerously smart is to refuse fog, to demand light, and to hold yourself to the law of accuracy even when comfort begs you to look away. Hear this. Every thought you permit is a stone in the house of your destiny. If you allow random bricks, your house will collapse. If you choose each stone with precision, your house will endure storms. The undisciplined mind throws up huts in the sand. The disciplined mind builds fortresses on the rock. Ask yourself, what am I building each morning? Am I laying bricks of fear? Am I stacking stones of distraction? Or am I cutting, measuring, and placing with purpose the foundation of power? For the answer will not remain hidden. It will show itself in your life. The world calls men lucky when they see results they do not understand. But luck is the name given to disciplined cause and inevitable effect. If you discipline your mornings, your days will obey you. If you discipline your mind, your circumstances will yield to you. If you discipline your emotions, your relationships, your reputation, your influence will bend toward you. This is not mystery. This is law. Now consider silence again. For silence is not merely the absence of noise, it is the amplifier of truth. In silence, you hear not only your thoughts, but the spaces between them. You begin to see that you are not your impulses, you are not your desires, you are not your fears. You are the one who observes them, weighs them, and decides. That realization alone makes you untouchable. For the man who identifies himself with his emotions is tossed endlessly, but the man who identifies himself with his reason rides the waves as captain. In silence, you will also hear the whisper of intuition, that subtle guide that speaks in impressions, in nudges, in the quiet assurance of direction. Intuition is not chaos. It is the higher order of thought, the distilled wisdom of your subconscious, the accumulated knowledge of every lesson absorbed, every pattern seen, every truth recognized. But it only speaks in quiet. Lose your silence and you lose this guide. Guard your silence and you walk with unseen counsel. The body, too, must be mastered. For every indulgence you allow the body as a message to the mind, I do not command here. Every time you surrender to laziness, you tell your will it is weak. But every time you rise when comfort whispers stay, every time you train when fatigue says rest, every time you deny the call of indulgence, you tell your will, I am master here. And the will, hearing this, strengthens itself. This is why discipline of the body is not vanity, it is sovereignty. A strong body supports a strong mind. A disciplined body confirms a disciplined soul. Then there is initiative, the crown of all habits. Without initiative, all else is theory. Thought, discipline, silence, truth, they exist for nothing if they do not translate into action. The masses think endlessly. They talk endlessly. They plan endlessly. But they do not move. And so life moves past them. The sovereign does not wait. He begins. He moves. He strikes. He advances. He acts not because conditions are perfect, but because action itself creates the conditions. He knows that hesitation rots the will, but action strengthens it. He knows that one bold step carries more weight than 100 intentions. Therefore, make this your oath, that no day shall end without a decisive act taken in the service of your purpose. One act builds another, one stone builds another. And before long, you will have built a monument, while others still sketch their blueprints. Now listen to me with all the seriousness of your soul. If you do not master yourself, you will be mastered. There is no neutrality. You are either king of your mind or slave to it. You are either ruler of your emotions or ruled by them. You are either commander of your will or commanded by weakness. The world will test you, life will press you, circumstances will demand of you, and in that hour, you will not rise to your wishes, you will fall to your disciplines. So build now, build daily, build relentlessly, build with purpose, with silence, with detachment, with discipline. Build until no insult can move you, no fear can paralyze you, no comfort can seduce you. Build until you become so calm, so clear, so decisive that others cannot understand you. Build until they call you lucky, until they call you chosen, until they call you dangerous. For you will be. You will become dangerously smart, not because you sought to impress the world, but because you sought to master yourself. And the man who masters himself masters everything.